Come to Helmuth Ford, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Hi, this is Stacy from Shetler Insurance Services. Come see me on the east side of the square in Sigourney for all your insurance needs.
The Keswick Tavern in Keswick, Iowa is having their first annual hog roast at the KT at 107 South Iron Street in Keswick, Saturday, August 23rd, serving food from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a free will donation. Plus, there's live country music with Jesse and the Medicine Men from 6 to 10 p.m. The event will be held outside. The hog roast will feature pulled pork sandwiches and sides. It's all happening this Saturday, August 23rd, with food from 11 to 4 and music from 6 to 10 at the Keswick Tavern in Keswick, Iowa. The 5th annual Travis Griner Memorial Tractor Ride is Saturday, August 23rd. Sign-up begins at 6:30 a.m. behind Griner Crop Service east of the Keota Water Tower, and it's all for a free will donation. Proceeds to the future Keota Child Care and Vets Memorial. This includes lunch and snacks along the ride. Sponsored by the Southeast Iowa Tractor Association. For more information, call Mark Sheets at 319-548-1077. It's the 5th annual Travis Griner Memorial Tractor Ride, Saturday, August 23rd. The Old Man Band makes their return to the stage at the Watch Your Opera House this Saturday, August 23rd. Doors open up at 6 p.m. and showtime is at 7. Tickets are $15 for adults, $7.50 for 18 and under, general admission, and you can purchase your tickets at the door the day of the show or online at watchyyouroperahouse.org/events. Popcorn Pop and Water will be served during the show, and Grant Ranch Grub and Pub will be serving food and drinks from 6 to 9. It's the Old Man Band this Saturday, August 23rd, starting at 7 p.m. at the Watch Your Opera House in Watch Your, Iowa.
Welcome to this edition of Morgan You Asked For podcast. Game week. Cyclones play in 2.5 days, 3 days, whatever you want to call it. Saturday morning, 11 o'clock. The Cyclones kick off college football in Ireland against Kansas State in what, I don't know how much you've listened to the Iowa podcasts or anything, or just news or anything, but there's a chance that this game could be the most watched Cyclone game of all time. More than bowl games, Cy-Hawk, anything, just because this game you're going to get the casual fan to watch. Because it's the first game, it's on ESPN, it directly follows game day. All those things don't happen to the Cyclones very often.
I definitely could see that being the case. As you mentioned, it's the opening weekend of college football. Everybody's dying for content on TV. Like you said, it follows game day, which is going to be huge. And then, of course, overseas. So the NFL's been pushing for games overseas for a long time now. College is following in their footsteps, which is the right move, in my opinion, growing the game worldwide. So, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's the most watched Iowa State game of all time as football goes.
Right. And then just in reality, and we're going to get to this, we're going to go through game by game, Iowa State, and then talk Nebraska schedule, Colorado schedule. And then you made a good point today, Trev. We didn't really talk about that till today, but we're going to do North Carolina. And it is kind of out of sight, out of mind. There was so much talk. There was so much controversy, what was happening, what wasn't happening with North Carolina and Bill Belichick. But really this summer, it's been quiet in North Carolina land with that. And I do think that's a good thing, because PR people or him or a combination of everybody, it is time to play football, and he is a football coach and has a job to do. And he's really good at it. He's the best there ever, one of the best ever, if not the best ever in the NFL history. So we're going to talk about them as well, hit a few other topics, and then just really talk K-State here. Just before, we kind of do this a lot of times at the end of the show, but I want to talk about this at the beginning of the show tonight. Thank you to everybody that listens, rate, like, subscribe on your favorite player, podcast player. I know several people, listen and watch on Facebook or Twitter, YouTube. Now, YouTube is the one that's weird. We're on Steve Shetler Media, and if you go to the Facebook page after 4 or 5 days and look, I think this week, last time I looked, Monday or Tuesday, and it said like 735 views on Facebook. Then you go to the YouTube, and it's like 2 views or 1 view. And it's the same thing on ours. So our audience is a Facebook audience, which is great. But the thing about YouTube is you can comment and you can interact with us live on the podcast. We can see it right on our screen here. And I'm not smart enough to figure out how to do that on Facebook. I think there is a way. I'm just not smart enough to figure it out.
I don't know if I am either, but no, thanks for everybody for listening. Yeah, the different platforms, it's kind of interesting to see the numbers. Some are better than others, and it just depends on what people's preference are, or what they're using at the time that we're going, or whenever they see the content or listen to it.
Yeah, that's what it's interesting to look and see. And this week there was someone from Taiwan listening. I have no idea.
Who knows? Maybe we're getting hacked by someone.
I don't know, or maybe it's someone from Taiwan that's in the United States that's just listening to it, and their phone is from Taiwan. There for the Little League World Series. Heck, I don't know.
Well, whoever this Taiwan person is, reach out, and we thank you.
Yep, we'll send you a koozie. So
there we go.
All right, let's get to the task at hand. Let's go through game by game. We're going to start with the Cyclones. Okay. Obviously, they play Saturday morning, 11 o'clock Iowa time. The Cyclones are on a plane right now. They left tonight from Des Moines. Direct flight from Des Moines to Dublin. They got a special plane or special clearance. If you and I were going to Ireland, we couldn't go from Des Moines to Ireland, but they got a direct flight. They're going to land tomorrow morning, try to have everybody sleep tonight and get up normal day, and try to get their times adjusted as best they can. They're not there very long, but it still is 6 hours difference, and trying to make it up their time so they're ready to play. Matt Campbell, and I'm sure Chris Kleinman is the same way. Talked to a lot of people, talked to NFL people, talked to other colleges that have been over there, trying to make the transition and the body clock as normal as you can.
Yeah, I was kind of curious. I hadn't heard that yet, but I was wondering what day they were going over. So this makes sense on a Wednesday to leave now. I mean, you'd have to leave by now, I would think. And is Kansas State on the same schedule? Do you know?
I don't know that. I would expect them to be very similar. Chris Kleinman is kind of cut out of the same cloth as Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell's hired some people from Chris Kleinman's staff at North Dakota when he was there. They were both lower level coaches and have made the jump to the Big 12. I think that, Chris Kleinman is actually an Iowa guy. I think he is from Waterloo. He's been brought up. He's a Midwest guy, just like Matt Campbell. The programs are very much alike. The schools are alike. The cities are alike. And so this game is going to be a game of mistakes. It is the first game of the season. Turnover here or there, and then how bad of a turnover is it? Is it Rocco Becht he throws pick sixes. That's what he does. If there is a turnover, is it not a pick six and then defense holds to a field goal, doesn't give up a touchdown, those type of things, or big plays. 2 years ago when Iowa State played Kansas State down in Kansas State in the snow game, Abu Samont ran for almost 300 yards. Is that a type of game? I don't see that. Iowa State last year was really, really bad against the run, best in the country against the pass. Now, they're not going to be best against the pass again, just because that statistically isn't going to happen, but maybe they're not as bad against the run. So it's just, and you never really know what can happen. It's the first game of the year. Crazy things happen. Who can and then just going to Ireland and that change, who can handle that the best? Will some of the players be super tired or their body fail? It's not going to be hot, so I don't think you're going to have the cramps and things that you see here in Iowa or in the South that first game, because it's supposed to be like 68 degrees there. But just with everything being weird and over in Ireland, will it matter? and how much it will matter. It's, I guess, how much it matters, and does it affect one team more than the other?
68 degrees sounds pretty good. I'm in Phoenix. It was 111 today, so it was hot. It's I don't care if it's what people say about dry heat. If it gets in triple digits, it's just warm. It's unbearable. But 68 sounds pretty good. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that'll be one of the keys. First time trip for both these teams, as far as I know, overseas, of course. So, yeah, it'll probably come down to who prepares better. Like you said, Rocco Beck's got a little pick six in him, kind of like Ricky Stanzi did for Iowa years ago. So that definitely, I see it being a close game. Of course, it's a 3-point spread, and the over-under is right at 49.5 as far as total points, and that's kind of where I've got my score prediction. Is right at the 50 mark.
Yep, that's me as well. Just obviously turnovers, and then I would say penalties. First game, a lot of times pre-snap penalties become a problem for some teams. So that would be another key to the game if one team really struggles with, pre-snap infractions on offense or illegal motion or lining up wrong or however it is, or on defense, are you jumping off sides or just not getting lined up right and having to call timeouts? There's things like that do happen early in the season. And then just one of the things that worries me, last year was different, but Iowa State under Matt Campbell historically has started off really slow. And in this game, you cannot start slow. It's two teams that are, predicted to compete for the Big 12 championship, get to that Big 12 championship game. It's your probably biggest natural rival in the Big 12. It's just everything right away. And then, looking more into the season, by the end of the first week of September, Iowa State's going to have played their two biggest rivals and two of their hardest games on the schedule. Yeah, so Iowa State has no room for any slow starts this year.
No slow starts if they want to accomplish what they feel like they can this year. So you want to get right into it? I know we talked about predictions later, but do you just want to do kind of the score predictions since it's the first game and let's get it out of the way?
Yep, let's just go ahead and do this one. I think the score prediction and the spread and the over-under is close. I've got the score going under. I've got 21-17, and I do have Kansas State beating Iowa State.
Man, no faith in your team. I'm disappointed in you. The first game of the year. That's just last year. You had Iowa State going like 12-0, didn't you?
And I was pretty close. They were like 7-0. I was on the thing. Yeah. No. You're going to see. I still have them having a very good record. Not as good as last year. But here's how I see it. Let's say Iowa State. Hope I'm wrong. I mean, I'll be honest. I hope I'm wrong, and they win the game. If they win this one, they'll lose the Iowa one. I just think they split these two, and probably in the big scheme of the year and the end goals of the season, you actually want to beat Kansas State and lose to Iowa. Because probably the worst record you could have and still get to the Big 12 championship game is 7-2 with tiebreakers and everything else. That's what it was last year. And Iowa State was a beneficiary of the tiebreaker. So that means the rest of the way you can only lose one game. Now, if you look at their schedule, there's a chance of that, but it's very, very, very difficult. If you can get this win, essentially what helps this is essentially a Kansas State home game. So you're kind of winning on the road against a team that many people have favored to win the Big 12. So you are a huge step ahead of everybody else. But I am going to pick Kansas State 21-17 over Iowa State.
I'm going the opposite way as you. I've got more faith, I guess. The linebackers are healthy, returning a bunch of starters. I'm going Iowa State 26, Kansas State 24, hitting the over by half a point. And I'm going to give Iowa State returning all these starters, minus a couple receivers and a couple other players. I trust Matt Campbell at Iowa State to figure out replacing receivers as much as anybody out there. So I'm not really too worried about the receivers. It is a question mark, of course.
Right. I'm not super worried either. The tight ends are really good. The Bramer is back, and then the other guy that replaced Bramer last year. That now they just have two really good ones, and then they replaced two, probably going to be starters in the NFL this year with two good ones, and then a couple of the others that are coming back that just didn't get the time and the receptions because of how good they were are stepping up. With their depth chart, they actually had the two transfers who you think would be the starters as not the starters. But they're going to play a lot. They're still going to throw it. I'm just worried about there's going to be a crucial play that I don't know if Iowa State's going to be able to make, or it is going to be like a pick six or a fumble, things like that has traditionally happened to Iowa State early in the year, mainly against the Hawkeyes. But I think, unfortunately, this one's going to be against Kansas State.
All right. You're going with the reverse theory there.
Yeah. Yep.
Picking against Iowa State. I've got them winning next week. Let's be that's a quick one for me. I've got them winning, getting to 2-0.
Yeah, South Dakota. Now